Everyone says, probably need a mic for this, would be
Mm-hmm.
important. Everyone says business is hard because money, sales, systems, cash flow, competition, or the economy. But I've heard, even in, I mean, I've been on this team for a very long time. One of the things that really drains business owners, managers, leaders is actually people.
Yes, business would be easy if there were no people involved.
So let's
Uh,
be clear here. This is not a AI is coming to take your job episode because that's what people are fearful of now.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay, Nicole, you work with people, human
yes,
behavior, mindset, communication, emotions.
yes.
Why is it so hard for people to work with other people?
All of those reasons. That's exactly why. Emotions,
Human behavior,
mindset,
mindset,
behavior.
communication. Okay.
And I think that the biggest thing is that people operate in their heads, so their universe operates in their brain. And so you don't know what somebody's universe looks like.
Interesting that.
And I say their universe as in that's
Mm,
how their world that they
yes.
live in. You can't see that. So for example, you generally don't know where people live. You don't know what kind of house they live in. You don't know what their house looks like. Is their house neat and tidy, or is there boxes all over their house, or is it like in a rundown area, or is it in a wealthy area? We don't know those things.
Mm. And I mean, that plays a would you how much of a part does that play in the people that show up to work every single day?
I'm not quite sure what you mean.
So for example, all those things, the environment that they live in, for example, where they're coming from, then they come to work today, they're carrying all that stuff with them, correct?
Oh, absolutely. So I'll use again controversial,
Yes.
very controversial for me anyway. Is you know typically in South Africa, I was listening to somebody was playing a I don't know YouTube clip or whatever, and the guy was saying they were talking about if you've got papers in South Africa, they must be forged. So if you're a foreigner with papers, your papers must be forged.
That's
Okay.
hectic.
Now, my question was, where does that belief come from?
Good question.
Okay. So, a number of years ago, South Africa introduced that you couldn't travel without an unabridged birth certificate with a child.
Yes, that
And
definitely.
if you did travel without the parent, you needed a letter stating that you were traveling without the parent, blah, blah, blah. And the idea and the concept behind it is great because it's around to stop child trafficking.
Yes.
Okay. However, I mean, I landed up in a situation where I didn't have one of those letters and I had to, like, it was, I was in America, Barry was here, and it was just one of those like weird situations. And, anyways, so we had to jump through hoops to get the letter so that I could get on the plane
Mm.
and to say, that I wasn't trafficking my children. I mean, crazy. But, anyways,
Happens.
so I was telling somebody the story, and this is going back years and years
Mm.
ago. This is, I mean, my girls were little. I mean, they're now 20 and 21 and no, older, 22 and 26.
Yes.
So this is when they were like 10 and 12 when that law came out,
Okay.
or 10 and 14 or something like that. And I was telling somebody, I think it must have been the helper from home, and I was telling her that we had to jump through hoops and we're lucky we got home, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, "Oh, but at the border, you can just ask the bus driver for
Oh.
a certificate, that affidavit.
Mm.
You just ask the bus driver will give you an affidavit."
It's just
And
got affidavits with it.
I killed myself laughing because the concept behind it is great, but there is not enough policing in South Africa to stop those kind of things from happening.
For sure.
And that's like immediately that's where my brain went when like I was listening to this. Where does that come from?
Mm.
Around people are saying your papers are forged.
Yes.
Well, because that has been something that is common
Mm.
here in South
Yes.
Africa.
Forging
I mean,
papers.
the stats on driver's licenses are scary. I think it's 1 in 5 is legal. Is that what it is? 1 in 5?
That is mad.
Or 1 in 5 is
Not was gotten through the correct channels.
not necessarily gotten through the correct channels, because some people get them through the correct channels. They just pay to get them through the correct channels.
No, for that.
So one
Yeah,
in
like,
5 is legal.
okay,
The
cool.
rest are
Bought or whatever.
forged, or I say forged is not the right word, but yes, they are
1 in 5.
1 in 5. I think the stat. That's what I've heard. I'm open to correction. I haven't done the research on it, but that's what I was told. So it's understanding that now you've got these thoughts from people. So, and I was horrified when I heard 1 in 5,
Yeah, it is.
because it was like, I won't do that. I won't forge the driver's. Like Danielle, I think, did her driver's license 6 times, and there's no ways I was going to pay for it.
Same.
She had to do it
Properly.
Yes. There
Yes.
was no ways I was going to. I don't care if
Come on.
there's.
Hello, how what you get it this thing?
You are going to get it the right way.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, I had a guy phone me and say, if you put 5,000 Rand in an envelope, and I'm like, I don't have 5,000 Rand. And he goes, okay, then make it 2.
Damn, that dropped very quickly. That is horrible negotiating.
And I'm like, no, like, there's no ways. No, thank you. Yeah, but we can get it for her tomorrow. I can get her appointment and a thing and get everything by tomorrow. And I'm like, no. And so now you've got one world that operates like that. And I say a world because it's not something that I deal with.
Yes, out of your world.
It's not in my world.
Wow.
Okay, so you've got a world that is wheeling and dealing and negotiating and money flowing in the wrong areas. I say in the wrong areas, but it's the right area because it works for that person. But you've got wheeling and dealing in that area, and then you've got somebody that's, I do everything by the book. I follow the rules. I do X, Y, and Z. And now you put those two people in a work environment together. It's going to cause chaos.
Yes.
Because you've got one person who's going, well, we'll just wheel and deal it. And you've got the other person going, no,
We need to follow the rules.
we're following the rules. And it's unsaid things like that, in this person's world, well, that's how the world operates. You don't get anything done unless you're wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
And in my world, it's like, you're going to follow the rules. And of course you get stuff done and you do it properly and you learn to do it the right way. And that's the way it's going to get done. And these two people collide in an office space, and they can't understand why you're such a stickler for the rules, and I can't understand why you don't follow the rules, and what the heck's wrong with you. And immediately you've got two different worlds that collide in a work environment, and those two people can't understand why is it so hard for you to wheel and deal? Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, I can't work with Nicole. I can't do projects with Nicole because she doesn't want to wheel and deal. We can get this done so much faster if you just slide the brown envelope over, get it done, and we get the deal.
But we can just take the guy out for lunch.
Exactly. What
and
do you?
go, and
You're like, no, we need this, and that's interesting because then things like processes and systems come into play, right? That the business itself has. Me and you are two different people working in an organization. The business has its own systems and processes. I have my own systems and processes, and so do you. You're gonna go, hey, what's the system and process for, I don't know, winning a client? So this is what we do. This is how we do it. I have a system. My system is we're taking them out for lunch. We have a good time. Listen, this is how this is going to work going forward. But you going, I don't want to do that. That is a massive clash, actually.
And it's just understanding that, particularly, and I say in South Africa, but I don't think it's just South Africa. It's all over the world. There are wheeling and dealing. There are people that operate in a certain realm.
Yeah.
And there are other people who don't operate in that realm. And then they land up working together, and then it's like a conflict. And I mean, even this I say YouTube clip that somebody was listening to that I overheard. They were talking about also one, it was foreign. If you're a foreigner, you must have bought your papers or they must be forged. And then the second thing that they were talking about was if you are South African and you want to marry a South African, there is something wrong with you. You must have forged papers and you only want to marry so that you are legal.
Are you saying if you're a foreigner? You said South African and a South African.
No, I'm talking South Africans, and this guy was going on about how he does not believe that South Africans should be getting married because the only reason why they would want a South African should marry a South African is to prove that your papers aren't forged. Right? Okay. So if you are crazy, right?
What?
And his whole thing was South Africans should not marry South Africans because they're only trying to prove that their papers are not forged. And so if you go back over time, it's like, it's crazy that somebody would have that concept of you shouldn't get married. And then you start questioning, is that an excuse just to have a whole bunch of girlfriends and have.
Yeah, it sounds like to me.
But then, if you look, we've had, chiefs and whatever in the South African culture that have had 5 wives, and it's quite normal to have 5 or 6 wives. And it's
not even chiefs,
like
presidents.
Chiefs, presidents, yes.
Yeah.
And so it's just to look and go, okay, so now you have that and this belief system of it's okay to have, I don't know, 10 girlfriends and 5 wives and whatever else. But then you're mixing a culture like an Indian culture that, you get married, or Muslim culture, or, in terms of, Christian culture, and you're mixing those cultures together in a workplace.
Oof, that's a melting pot waiting to happen.
Or suddenly people are going to start arguing about, like, why have you got 5 wives?
No, we're talking about work.
We're not even talking about work.
No.
And I don't like that person. They have 5 wives, like, or they have 5 girlfriends, and I don't know which girlfriend's going to rock up. And then, or you've got the situation where you've got the PA working for the boss, and the boss is now trying to, like, the PA is like trying to work out what's happening. The boss doesn't want to say anything. Now the PA gets into trouble because she let the wrong girlfriend phone at the same time as the other girl.
It was her. Nah, I'm confused. Nah, I'm in trouble.
And the PA is now in trouble because
you didn't do your job.
Correct.
You didn't do your job correctly. Where was this in my job description?
And that's the problem, is when you are dealing with people, you are dealing with emotions and situations that most people are completely unaware of. Even like if you look at, you can take it into, I don't know, communities around animals. You've got one community that says, no, you have to do this, and another community that says you have to dress your animal and you have to do it has to have 5 different outfits, and it's because it's cold and it must sleep inside. And the other community is going,
it's a dog, must be outside.
It's a dog, it must sleep outside. And suddenly you've got this conflict because people were raised in different environments.
Yeah.
And their universe, their world was very different to somebody else's. And they have no concept of it's different in somebody else's world.
Yes. We now, oh man, I don't like this word, but do you think that we've become way less tolerant of each other as people? And then we don't even realize it, but we bring that into work.
So I wouldn't say we've become way less tolerant. It's not that. It's we've become very unaware of how other people operate. And it's conditioning. So if I grew up in a family where we sat down together and had a meal 3 times a day, and my dad came home from work every lunchtime, that's what I know. That is all I know. And I expect that every other family on the planet does that.
The same.
Because why? Social media. If I go Google, social media will reinforce that. because that Facebook listens to us, and we'll be talking about meals, and we'll be talking about this family and all of those things. So Facebook just reinforces the world that we live in. And it listens to us, the algorithm, whatever, and it shows us those things.
Shows what we want.
Okay, so now all that does is reinforce my world.
I'm right. Facebook told me.
That is normal.
Yes.
And then I go off to somebody else's house and they have, I don't know, a pot on the stove, and whenever you're hungry, you go and eat. And everybody eats at different times and eats at different rooms. And, the children take the food to their bedroom and they go sit and watch TV in their bedroom. And you're like, this is crazy. Like,
there's no order here. What are you guys doing?
Why don't you sit down together? And somebody else will look at you and go, what?
Why did we do that?
Why? Like, that's not our culture. Like, that's not we don't do that. And so we become, and it's not tolerant, it's just our world and our universe is actually becoming smaller with social media and Facebook. And, in terms of, if you take TV, for example, TV shows, I can now choose whatever TV shows I want.
Whenever I want.
Yeah. So if I want to watch crime shows, and I believe that there's crime all over the world and there's only crime, I can watch any crime show I choose to support my world. Okay? When I grew up, you didn't have that choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I was listening, I think yesterday on the radio they were talking, or the other day on the radio, they were talking about shows that you used to race home to watch. What was the show at 5 o'clock it was X, or
the Night Rider at 7.
Night Rider at 7.
Come
or,
on.
Kitten.
Yeah.
And then, somebody was talking about He-Man and
my word.
Masters of the Universe.
Just made a movie about that. There's a new He-Man movie.
And these shows that it was on a Thursday at X time. And you raced home to watch that. But in between the rest of the week, you didn't get a choice as to what the show that was on was the show that was on. That was it.
Yeah, only guarantee you had was news at 7.
And so you knew that your show was on at a certain time, and those are the shows that you liked, and you'd watch them.
Yep.
And it's today, our world has actually become smaller in terms of our ability to experience how other people live.
Damn, I never thought about it like that.
Because we are choosing what we like. So our world is becoming smaller. And so then I go to work, and now I've been watching all these criminal shows, and I can tell you how much crime is out there and blah, blah, blah. And the person sitting next to you is going, oh, well, I've been watching Downton Abbey. And, that doesn't happen. And
what is wrong with you? I'm watching Downton Abbey. Serious things going on in the world. We need to watch those things. No, but you're so right. Because it's funny, because it happened to me in our office. There's things that Michaela will say to me, like a show she's watching, and I'm like, why? There's this show that is current. It's happening in the world, right? You need to. But I'm not going to go into her world and watch whatever. What is it? I think it might have been Bridgerton or something like that.
That's the one I was thinking of, Bridgerton, yeah.
I'm not going to go into that world. And what you're saying is so spot on. Is like, we're so limited. We think that I've
got all these choices and I can watch whatever.
No, you've got a pretty strict thing that you do.
But if you're not aware, you will find people like, I mean, I listen to people and I go, oh no, my husband and I we don't watch TV together. No, because he watches all these, like action thriller things, and I hate them, and murders, and I don't watch them. So we don't watch TV together. And you're like, huh? Okay. Well, and then you start finding out, well, when do you spend time together? Like, and then you find out that they don't spend time together because
you're doing your own thing.
You're gonna go watch your crime and murder and thrillers over there. Well, I'm gonna go watch my rom-coms over there. And suddenly our world is becoming smaller and our universe is becoming smaller because we are dividing based on this is what I like. And if you don't like it, tough. You go watch it in the other room. Whereas in years gone by, that was not an option.
Everything came sort of from the same source, right?
Everything was like it was programming, and that was it. There was it.
That was it.
TV was from 5. It started at 5 o'clock, and before that, you had that beautiful black and white and multicolored screen with the circle and the lines, and that was it.
And you had open time. It was go time now.
And from 5 o'clock, that's when TV started, and that was it. There was not this sit on your phone, watch YouTube, like. And this is the problem, is that people's universes have actually shrunk and got smaller, and so it's not that we tolerate less. It's we have no knowledge of what's actually out there.
And you know, it's so crazy that you say that, because like I've started to realize, so like Barry and I have our heated debates about politics and, you know, the world and stuff like that. We can be talking about the exact same thing, but we got it from 3 different sources. Yep. And he's going, no, but you see, you got it from your source, which is wrong. And I'm going, your source is also and it's like, wait, but actually we're saying the same thing though. We'd be talking about the exact same thing, but you've chosen a side. I've chosen a side. And we're going to stick to those. I'm going to get my news from X place. You're going to get it from X place. But we actually sometimes don't even see eye to eye eventually.
But, and it's also like if you take, for example, I don't know, CNN and Fox News.
Yeah. Yeah, great.
They both report the news.
Yes.
But they report it from their angle. Okay.
Yes.
And this is where, like, even a news channel, previously, if you were watching news at 7 o'clock in, I don't know, whatever country you grew up, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Longer, 40 years ago. You got one source.
That's it.
That was it.
That's it.
You got the newspaper.
Yep.
So 2 sources. You got your local newspaper and you got the TV news. And that was the only source and that was the only opinion. So now today, you've got very like Fox and CNN, they have their opinion and they report it from their angle because they want people to believe X.
Yes.
And this one wants people to believe Y.
Yes.
And so that's how they report it.
Because I have a target audience that appeals to this, right?
Correct. So they're not actually reporting facts. They're reporting, this is what happened and this is our opinion.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
And so now, and what does that do? It creates controversy.
Big time.
Well, that sells.
Big time.
Okay. Versus when we all get together and everything's wonderful and everyone agrees and, you know, it's
harmony. What are we doing?
That doesn't sell. Unless it's Bridgerton or unless it's
harmony's boring.
But even that, it's like
even that's controversial.
That's controversial too.
You can flip it how you want to flip it.
Correct. So it's just understanding that people's universes and worlds have become smaller because they choose what they want to see. They choose what they want to watch. Social media chooses for them.
Also true.
You know, the algorithm or the listening or whatever it is picks up what you are watching. So, I mean, you just have to go and, right, I don't know if you, I laugh because it's like, okay, so start talking about farm murders. That happening. I mean, we've spoken about this several times.
We've taught on it.
And as soon as I can guarantee you, I will have posts on my phone and Facebook about farm murders. Or if I'm now start going about doggy training and I start talking about dog training and, you know, I'm looking for dog trainers and I'm trying to change the algorithm on my phone. So I get dog
Thank you. And do it for mine as well, because my whole laptop is open. So it's going straight. We're talking into the system.
So, but I know that like I'm going to get dog training videos now.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we often talk Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And like I've seen it with different people. Like you start talking, and then they'll send me a post. Check, this popped up on my social media. Like,
Didn't pop up.
like, oh, how cool is this? We were talking about this today. And
What a
I'm like,
miracle.
yep,
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
And that's where, when you are looking at people, it's understanding that you are dealing with a person's universe, as in their world that they live in, that they know. And if they've never heard of Robert Kiyosaki and they've never worked on mindset, and then you put them together with someone that has, and someone that's got a way more open mind, it creates issues.
Man. You know why this is so fascinating to me? Because I'm sitting here. This is not even just for business owners. This is for people, right? If you are watching this or you're listening to this wherever you are, you can probably relate to this more often than not in your workplace.
But it's like you put two families together. A boy meets girl, they fall madly in love, and now they get married, and everything's going to be amazing. And then Christmas comes along.
Ooh, there we go. The one time families.
And my family celebrates Christmas like this. And the other person's going, well, mine doesn't.
Yeah.
And suddenly World War III breaks out over Christmas.
Yes.
And everybody thinks, but it's Christmas. And in the one family, they're going, well, we all get matching pajamas. And the other family's going, we won't be seen dead in matching pajamas.
It's hot.
And suddenly there's like these traditions of this family's world now collides with the other person's world. And suddenly you have to be able to make choices as to what is actually serving you. And is it worth your relation? Is it worth wearing matching pajamas just to get along with your husband? You know, you do it once a year, and not necessarily your husband or the husband's family, or just to be part of it. And this is where I think so many people get stuck in, I'm not doing that. That is not.
Yes.
And the same thing happens at work. It's going back to wheeling and dealing, and I'm not breaking the rules. I'm not doing that. And it's just, that is the challenge when you put people together. You know, family, we at least have a choice. Like, we choose our family and we choose some of those things, and we can choose, my family's nuts, so let's go to yours.
Yes.
Or, we do have a little bit more choice.
A little bit more control over it.
Sometimes.
Yes,
but
a little bit.
Then if you take the workplace, where you have to put up with these people from 8 to 5 every single day, 365 days of the year, minus
most of your time.
And it's where you spend most of your time. And you don't have a choice as to these people and their opinions and their world and how they think. And it's very, very challenging.
Yeah, I don't think that, because in all honesty, I had a different direction for this episode. And this direction has completely thrown me off, just because it's so much. It's actually a lot of stuff I wasn't even thinking about myself, right? I was like, communication, and I don't say things because maybe I'm scared of how you're going to react, and da 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 da. Well, kind of that's the surface of it, right? The way what you've done is like you've now gone deeper with it. It's simple. It's things that we do in our everyday life that you don't even realize of the next person in your workplace. You may not listen to, I listen to talk radio. You may not listen to talk radio, but now we end up clashing, right?
You're not gonna listen.
Exactly. It's like, wait, why are you doing that? Why do you always want to hear doom and gloom? And it's like, no, I just like to be informed. And you're like, no, I don't want that.
Like, I'm happy in my bubble and not listening to doom and gloom.
100%.
And this is where it creates division. And I say unfortunately, but it's because people's universes and worlds are getting, you think, because I've got access to social media and because I've got access to YouTube and my world is expanded.
It's massive.
No, the reality is your world and your universe have got smaller because you choose what you put into it. And unknowingly, not on purpose, I think a lot of times it's unknowing. And then you start hanging around with people that do the same. Like, I would way rather hang around with people that watch Bridgerton, because now we can have a conversation
Yes, for sure.
and we can talk about it, than to hang around with somebody that watched some Skit and Donna and
Yeah,
whatever, and I don't want to watch that. So I'll leave them and I'll go over there. And without even realizing it, we create division, and then, like, I don't want to work with that person because I don't know them.
Great clicks in the workplace, thinking that it, and this is something I realized, is that it's so easy to go, oh no, it's because we all speak X language, or we all went to this varsity or whatever it is. But actually it's no, we all watch Bridgerton and we can talk about Bridgerton.
But where did that click come from? Yes, it came from university,
first
because
thing.
at university, that's what we used to do. We used to
Yes.
watch that together.
We used to watch this thing, or we have the same interest, and then that becomes our thing. And then now here comes Nicole, and she wants to watch true crime all the time, and I'm like, your clickers over there.
And a lot of this stuff is unknowing, and then we don't get to find out about people because we're so busy talking about Bridgerton. We don't realize that they're a serial killer, and they're whatever. I mean,
no, yeah, those things happen, because then it becomes, how did we not see it? Well, you never spoke to them.
well, because you never connected with them. All you did was share, I don't know, whatever it was. But and this is the problem, is that people are, because their world has become so small, and they're like, and this is where there's so much more scamming and so much more of these things that are happening out there, because, well, people don't scam, really, like in
You got
crypto.
scammed.
I didn't know. Like, no, surely they can't access my email. Like, how did that happen? Like, so it's just understanding that, because the world, your universe, and I say your little world that you live in, your bubble, has become smaller, it's actually opening you up to way more abuse and way more things, because you cannot fathom or see or understand that other people would do that. And then, of course, your world has become smaller, and now, well, how could you say that to me? Like, that is not okay. Like, on Bridgerton, they would never say that.
Yeah. And I think that what you're saying there actually ties so much into last week's episode around toxic workplace, right? So if me and you are, I don't want to say, we watch those types of shows. Things are cool. You know, there's a little bit of shouting. It doesn't get crazy. It's normal. Then you have the other crew who watches the true crime stuff, and they're like, we deal with toxicity different. Like, right? Let's call it that. So me and you are sitting here going, yo, our boss is so toxic. We create a clique of going, our boss is toxic. This is what it is. And then those who are inclined like that will join us. Those who are like, oh, it's just a boss being a boss, they form their own clique. And we don't even, yeah, you're so right. We don't realize it.
And we have no concept of it. And then now we expect those two groups of people to work together in the workplace and get along, and, like, just for everything to work perfectly well and amazing, and
Yeah, it's their job.
And yet it doesn't happen, because they cannot communicate, because their world is smaller. They don't know how to communicate. They're completely unaware of that this is offensive. I mean, yeah. Well, so what if I sit here and eat my pork sandwich? I don't care. And the other person's going, no, this is not cool, because we didn't even take the time to even register that some cultures don't eat pork, or some cultures,
The Muslim guy next to you.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then we now start to, and this is where, unfortunately, it then becomes an issue of, now it's like, okay, well, moving forward, we will make sure that we don't employ people that don't eat pork. So now it becomes a race thing, because it's certain cultures. And so now that company's racist, because the HR department's going, I don't want any drama with flipping pork sandwiches anymore, or pork sausages, or whatever it is. And
oh my goodness. Yeah. No, I'm just laughing because people do not think in extremes, right? And what you're saying is not extreme. It's actually very but it's so true that I'm now sitting as HR going, bloody hell, we've had two situations where John keeps eating pork sandwiches in front of Muslim people and they keep asking him not to, and he doesn't listen. Let's just not hire Muslim people. We're not that just to avoid the conflict.
And it's going to make my life easier.
Yeah.
So HR is going, well, I've got 2 CVs here, and then suddenly that company is accused of being racist because now there's one Muslim person and they don't hire Muslim people.
Yeah.
Or it's a white company and they don't hire black people. Or it's a black company and they don't hire white people. And it actually has nothing to do with race. It has to do with culture. It has to do with
belief.
It has to do with keeping the peace, making things run smoothly. Because if I know that I have 5 people that don't eat pork, I don't have to worry about them fighting over pork sandwiches.
Yep.
It's like, cool, that's no longer an issue. And even you can go vegan. I mean, that's where like a vegetarian or a vegan gets given just as much stuff as someone that doesn't eat pork. But the problem with the vegetarian or vegan is that anybody can be that. It's not limited to a specific group. So people don't see it as racism, but suddenly they go, well, you can only work here if you're vegetarian. We don't deal with meat here.
Yeah, because last time somebody's sandwich touched somebody else's.
Somebody made a joke about, cows being grass or something, and like
just
so we did
for 2 days.
We just don't hire people that aren't vegetarians here or vegan or whatever it is. And so what's happening is people are making their world smaller. So because it's easier. It's easier to have a whole bunch of vegans together because they get along. We know they work well together. We know they understand. So I'm actually going to make my world smaller because it's easier just to deal with that.
Keep the peace,
make things work, as opposed to, in terms, and this is such a, like, sometimes it is worth doing that because you want to create, from a work perspective, let's do that. Let's just hire vegans, and vegans they'll get the job done. And I know that there's going to be no issues. And at lunchtime, they will do their meditation and they'll do their whatever. And they're cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it becomes easier to do that. And because we're getting results, why change it? Why bring a meat eater in if
it's going
to cause conflict?
Yeah.
Okay. But in other scenarios, it is so important for you to be expanding your world, not making it smaller. So it's just understanding there is a time and a place for both, but definitely in the working environment, it's the number one challenge I see is that people's worlds are getting smaller because of social media, because of YouTube, and if you can use it, sports, for example. Some companies are raving about the World Cup, and that is the only form of discussion that they have. And all their TVs are on the Soccer World Cup. And other people have no cooking clue that there's even football or soccer being played somewhere else in the world.
It's crazy. I actually heard that even in America, where the World Cup is being hosted, some people don't even know that there's a World Cup happening.
Well, nothing against Americans, but I can understand why that would happen.
No, fair enough. I mean, we can say stuff. We know you guys are second highest viewers on YouTube, but I'm not.
But also, America's massive compared to South Africa. I mean, when we had the World Cup, there was not a person in this country that did not know that the World Cup was happening.
Every corner of this country.
Every corner had a street flag. Every car had a flag on it. It was just the vibe and the energy.
That's true. America's too big, actually.
But America's massive. And in terms of football, soccer is a small sport in America. It is incredibly small.
Yes.
Compared to some of the other sports that are played in America.
They're sports.
Sorry?
They're sports.
Yes.
No.
So if yes.
Nobody else plays this.
But I mean, you have, for example, the CrossFit fittest man on earth in the US, and most people don't even know that it's like majority of the world doesn't even know it's there. So
I don't even know CrossFit is.
It's America's so big. So yes, that's why I say I can understand in America versus here. But it's even here, there are people that are completely unaware that there is a soccer World Cup going on at the moment, or a football World Cup, whatever you call it. But it's just understanding that different, and that's the challenge with different cultures in different places.
No, that's actually very true. I don't think that. Yeah, we that must be challenging for somebody who doesn't watch football, right? If the whole office is talking about it and then you there isolated, you're feeling isolated because
Well, one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to join them and go, "What happened?"
yeah,
And
yeah,
tell me, or you're going to go,
this again.
this again. And that's a choice as to, do you choose to fit in or do you choose not to?
Ooh, that's an interesting angle because those things then that's the other part
If
of this.
everybody in the office is watching the football
Yeah,
or the soccer, whatever you want to call it,
you've got to now make a choice.
you've got to make a choice. Do you have a choice? You don't have to get enthusiastic and like paint your ears blue and what have you, like everybody else in the office, but it's a choice. Like, do you choose to be interested and like partake with everybody else, or do you choose to like, I'm not doing that? Like,
but also, is it that choice? Is it so you see the way that you even said that, is it the choice of like, I don't want anything to do with this, or is it the choice of, look, I own that I have no interest in this, I'm going to keep myself away from it, like, cool, hey, you guys do your thing, that's fine?
or do you choose to go, cool, I'm going to be interested for this time period to find out what's happening and just be part of the team?
Okay, yeah.
So, hey guys, what's happening in the soccer versus, like really, like, because what you will find is that generally, while everybody's raving about the soccer, they will talk and communicate about stuff that's happening at work.
True story.
And they'll say, that guy in the blue shirt, he reminds me of our client. And did you know that, we just closed this deal with him, da 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 da. And then they'll carry on talking about the soccer. And then you go, how come no one told me about we closed that deal?
I know we were talking about it during the soccer and you weren't there because you don't watch the soccer.
And then you're excluded.
Yes.
Unknowingly and unintentionally.
Not doing it on purpose.
But and that's the challenge is, and that's why I say sometimes it's a choice. You've got to make the choice of, yeah, I'm not a soccer fan, but you know what? I'm going to choose to be interested and I'm going to find out, who are 5 soccer players in the World Cup. Okay, let's go. Okay. Ronaldo, Harry Kane. Okay, cool. I know 2. Okay,
To
cool.
start.
Well, that's okay because you can ask. So what happened with Harry Kane? Okay, and maybe it's just find out who scored the most goals, and you can Google stuff, but
easily.
It's not go and learn about every single team and every single thing. It's just like get interested, on your way to work, like check out who played, like or first thing in the morning. You just have to
just go into Google, type in FIFA World Cup, and it will show you everything you need to know.
World Cup results, and you can see and then you get to the office and you go, "Did you see America lost?"
Even after that whole situation,
4-0, and okay, great. But now you are part of the conversation. So it's not about you're choosing to invest, all your life force and all your energy and everything into
you're waking up
soccer.
at 3 a.m.
Yes. But no, it's not that. It's just you are choosing to be part of it so that you are included and you are not excluded. And you are inclusive, not exclusive. And I think that's the challenge is a lot of people, because their worlds are getting smaller, they're becoming exclusive in the workplace.
It reminds me of an episode of Friends where I think Rachel wanted to get something from her job. She wanted to go on a trip, but her boss was in a clique. She was in the smoking clique. Rachel doesn't smoke. So she needed to figure out how, if I'm not in that clique, I am not going on this trip. So she faked that she smoked. She needed a way to fit in to get what she wanted from her job. And I was like, I'm glad I got to use a friend's reference. I haven't been able to do that in a long time. But that would, in terms of what we're talking about, that's, I'm not saying go and fake smoking or fake who you are or whatever. And I don't think you're saying that either.
No, but it's making a decision to be part of it. So
Yeah.
Rachel didn't have to fake smoking, but she could go and stand with everybody while they're having their smoke breaks.
Yeah.
She didn't have to smoke.
Yeah, that was a choice that she then made on her own.
But,
yeah.
in terms of, it's go stand with them while they're smoking.
Mm.
And don't cough and splutter while you do it. But go stand with them, chit chat. Hey guys, see everybody's having a smoke break, blah blah blah. That sort of thing. And you're making a choice to be included, not to exclude yourself. Like I'm not going outside to stand in the cold with them while they smoke outside. Like, are they flipping nuts? No, put your jacket on and go stand outside, and you will find out a lot.
Yeah, a lot of conversations happen during smoke breaks.
And the same thing around soccer games or football games or
TV, everything, most things. Life.
Correct.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up this very interesting episode?
I don't think it went anywhere where we were intending it to go, or you were intending
no,
it to go.
But I think when you wanted it to go, it's good.
But it's just, I think the biggest thing I'd say is know how big or small your world is. And are you willing to actually learn about some other people's worlds?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This has been the Uncovering Greatness podcast. Hope you enjoyed watching, listening, wherever you are in the world. Don't forget to subscribe. You can subscribe on Spotify as well. You can subscribe on Apple so you get notifications as soon as it comes out, guys. See you guys next week.
Bye.